Shalom Bracha. I was thinking, till now we gave introduction as to all the Ma'amarei Chazal, all the Chazal that are out there in terms of marriage, respecting what a woman is. We also brought sources from different psychology books. Obviously there's a lot out there, and obviously I didn't finish. Obviously we're going to venture more. But I think it's good to change a little bit the topic. I think today there's a wonderful sefer. As a matter of fact, they just put it out in English as well. I think in Hebrew, I don't know, there's a flow called Binyan Habayit. A sefer called Binyan Habayit by Rav Moshe. I think his last name is Shochtovitz. Yeah, Shochtovitz. I believe this is became a very big sefer out there, to the point where they just translated in English. It's a big, like $50 book, like this, thick. In Hebrew, it's like the $34. English, $50, like this. But what is it? Finally, what I want to do is I want to get to the meat and potatoes. Okay, going out, married, fine. What am I supposed to do? This, by the way, this sefer is for everyone. For everyone, whether you're going out, whether you're married, whether you're many years married, just got married, for everyone. Because it gives you klalim. Klalim means it gives you rules. Gives you rules, general rules for us to understand. So number one, we're going to start with, the first rule. I'm actually obviously going to skip through the Agdama, even though it is important to read the Agdama, but I think if we're going to read the Agdama, it's going to take us a long time. So we're just going to get to bottom line. The first aspect, please sit over here, please sit. The first aspect that I believe that Shalom Bayit stands on, right, is Shalom Bayit, right? Shalom. Why do we call it Shalom Bayit? Why Shalom Bayit? What is? Why Shalom Bayit? Why Shalom Bayit? Why not? I don't know, something else. Binyan Bayit, like Binyan Bayit makes sense. Binyan Bayit. Shalom Bayit. Why Shalom Bayit? Why that? There's other aspects of marriage, right?
Hello or goodbye. That's what it means.
So it's either hello and goodbye. Yeah, but shalom. So you're saying shalom could mean no. In Hebrew, shalom means hello and shalom means goodbye. Right. You know that, right? Oh, in Hebrew, shalom means hello and shalom means goodbye. I think that's nice pshat. You give shalom bayit could either mean hi, having the it means hello, or goodbye, shalom bayit. But obviously, it's important. Shalom bayit, for some reason, is what we call it. Shalom bayit. There are other aspects of marriage. Why shalom? The answer is, we're going to see today how important is shalom. And that's why it's called shalom bayit. So for example, he brings this like this. There's a famous Rambam. Listen to this Rambam. The Rambam writes in Hilchot Chanukah. Listen to this Rambam. And it's obviously Rishonim, when they speak short. Rishonim need to be elaborated. Rishonim don't need to speak long essays. They speak short. And our job is to be able to elaborate and listen. What is the Rishon saying? So listen to this. The Rambam Hilchot Chanukah, in chapter 4, Perek Daled, Halacha Yud Daled, says as follows. This is what he says. Haya lefanav ner beto vener Chanukah o ner beto v'kiddush hayom. ner beto kodem mishum shalom beto. שהרי השם נמחק לעשות שלום בין איש לאשתו. גדול השלום שכל התורה ניתנה לעשות שלום בעולם שנאמר דרכיה דרכנו וכל נתיבותיה שלום. Look what the Rambam says. If you have, listen to this case. If you have enough money just to buy either Hanukkah candle or Shabbat candle. Right now it is Shabbat Hanukkah. And you just have enough to buy one. You have $2. That's all you have. And you're either going to buy Shabbat candle or either going to buy Hanukkah candle. What do you buy?
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
More often, right?
So he says because Shabbat comes often. Tadir v'sheinu tadir, tadir kodem. All right.
The whole point of lighting
Guess what? Oh, but look how far this goes. He says because it's tadir sheno tadir tadir kodem. There's a rule. Whatever comes every time, that's first, right? Okay. So because Shabbat comes every time, that's first. Again, Rambam writes like this: if you have enough money, Shabbat Chanukah, right? Tonight it's Shabbat Chanukah. It's Shabbat and it's Chanukah, and you have only $2. You could only buy either Chanukah candle or Shabbat candle. What do you buy? Says the Rambam, you buy Shabbat candle. Okay, that makes sense. Because again, like you said, because it's every day, every week, Shabbat's every day, this once a year. Fine. But what if you have enough money to buy a Shabbat candle or wine for Shabbat? By the way, they're all rabbinical. All these things. Shabbat candle is rabbinical. Wine on Shabbat is rabbinical. Obviously, we say Kiddush, which is Doraita, but we apply the wine to Kiddush, it's the Rabbanan. Right? Candle is rabbinical. Chanukah is rabbinical also. All is takana. Everything is takana. So the question is, do you have enough money? Huh? The Kiddush itself, the words Kiddush, Mekadesh Shabbat is min Torah. But to make it on wine, it's min Rabbanan. Right? Who said that you have to take wine to make Kiddush? You have enough money just to buy bread for Kiddush, you have no wine. Either bread or either wine or either candle of Shabbat. What do you do?
Candle.
Says the Rambam. Candle. Candle. Why? Because this is like this, what the Rambam says. Mishum shalom beto. Because you need peace in the house. This is unbelievable Rambam. And then why? He says, well, what's the proof? What's the proof? Because he says, the name of Hashem was erased. Okay? For what? Just to place peace between husband and wife. Now the Rambam got his halakha from the fact that this episode in the Torah, what was the episode in the Torah? The episode in the Torah is a husband decided, he saw that his wife is not being so faithful to him, and he said, you know what, I don't want you to speak to this man. I'm warning you against speaking with this man. And she went and she spoke to the man. Right? She secluded herself in the room. What happened? She has to drink sota water. Right? She didn't do anything. We're not sure if she did something, but he suspects her. She has to drink the water. What water is it? You take Hashem's name, and you basically have the sofer take a little scroll, write the name of Hashem, erase the name, and put it in the water. And you know what happens? She has to drink it. Oh! Do you know that saying Hashem's name in vain is deoraita, isur deoraita? It's one of the 613 mitzvot. Lota says. Erasing Hashem's name, that's also one of the mitzvot that Lota says. And what does the Torah say? Guess what? For Shalom Bayit, erase the name. You know why? Because I really want to know if she actually did something or not. I don't want the husband to suspect his wife. So in order for us to show that she's good, she's kosher, let her erase my name, Hashem says. So says the Rambam, if the Torah says erase my name just for Shalom Bayit, guess what? The whole concept of candle is for Shalom Bayit. What's the Shalom Bayit, by the way? When you light a candle, what's the Shalom Bayit? No, but how is it Shalom Bayit? When you light a candle, how is it Shalom Bayit? Huh? And therefore what? How is it Shalom Bayit? Okay.
It brings in Shabbat for them.
No lights.
Oh.
That's what become an issue. Because
When there was no lights, so
today's day we have a light.
correct. Well, it's also Shalom Bayit, but you're right. You're right.
Spiritual light also very
Spiritual light, but you know what the light is. This is Poskim say very simple, because if it's dark in the house, the husband might go and trip and fall and get hurt. Something standing in front of his feet, and he'll go boom. He'll hit, and he's going to scream at his wife. What's going on here? So because there has to be light, so he doesn't listen. Because of that, there's a mitzvah to light candles. Interesting. So that means if you have $2, enough to buy a candle or Shabbat candle, or to buy wine, you buy Shabbat candle. So Shalom Bayit.
I heard that Shabbat candles are even so important that you're not really supposed to beg for anything, but if you don't have any money
For Shabbat candles, you do.
you have to
Correct.
beg. I don't understand that.
Why?
Is it reason?
Yes, because he says like this. This is what the wording the Rambam
What would we
says.
say today when there is light?
Still, the takana was for Shalom Bayit. Besides that, by the way, takana is also tikkun. You know that every time a woman lights candles, it's a tikkun for what she did by bringing death to man. Because of Chava, there's death in the world. So she, so to speak, extinguished the light of the world. And now by turning it back on, she's kind of like doing tikkun to fix that light. Whatever that means. But the point is, Shalom Bayit is so big. Why is it big? You know why? Because look what it says. It says, Derachea darchei noam, says the Rambam, because the Pasuk says, the whole Torah is for what purpose? What purpose is the Torah? The path of the Torah, the way of the Torah is pleasant. V'chol netivotei shalom. There's a famous Pasuk. Derachea darchei noam, the ways of the Torah is pleasant. V'chol netivotei shalom. And all its paths are shalom. Basically, what does that mean? He says like this. It means, what's the purpose of learning Torah? What's the purpose of Torah? To teach the world the concept of peace. To teach the world the concept of morals, like you said. It's a feminine. Teach the world the concept of morals. Derech eretz, how to properly behave, how to properly talk, how to properly treat other people. I mean, if you look at the entire Tariag mitzvot, you'll see the concept of Ben Adam Lechavero, V'ahavta l'reich kamocha. There's so many mitzvot that have to do with what? Morals. Because the Torah is for shalom. V'chol netivotei shalom. All the ways of the Torah, paths of the Torah, shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom. And I want to tell you one thing. You want to go far? I have a book that I like to read. Every day, a little bit, just to grow. There's a famous book that we all know, okay? And I take little notes. Every day I try to, not here to toot my horn, but every day I try to take notes of some famous speaker or famous writer, One of the things is how to win friends and influence people. This is from Dale Carnegie. I take notes. And one of the things he says, one of the things what you should do is, look what he says. I write, like, what are the principles? His principles. And he says like this. I have to just find it. It's going to take a very, very long time to find it. Then I'm not going to find it. I'm just going to say what he says. The only way, he writes, the only way to get the best out of an argument is to avoid it. The only way to get the best out of an argument is to, well, you know what? You know what you do? Avoid it. You want to make friends and influence people. And by the way, this is a bestseller, okay? Bestseller. The only way to get the best out of an argument, he writes, is to avoid it. That means he's a big fan of avoid arguments. No machloket. Try avoid with anybody, business partner, anybody. Avoid it. But where do you get it from? The Torah. The Torah is teaching us. It says, the ways of the Torah is noam, pleasant. And therefore, if the reason why you only have $2 and you can only buy candle, Hanukkah candle, or Shabbat candle, or you can only buy wine or Shabbat candle, why Shabbat candle is the most important thing? Because that represents what Torah is all about. Peace. Now, this is what the Rambam said. However, Rabbi Moshe Chochtovitz, he's going to elaborate on this Rambam. And he says like this. He says, who are we talking about? If you read this Rambam, who is the pair? Did they just get married? Are we talking about people that are about to get divorced? Who is the pair? It says a person has $2 and he can only buy this and this. He buys this. He buys the Shabbat candle because that's the most important thing. Shalom. Right? Who is that couple? Are they about to get divorced? Are they just got married? What? So it says it looks like, if you just pay attention to this, it looks like the couple is going to he's probably talking about a couple that's about to get divorced. And we don't want them to get divorced. So Shalom says what? But the truth is, the Rambam doesn't say that. The Rambam doesn't say which couple, right? So he says, no, we're not talking about. He says, zug medaber Rambam. Which zug is the Rambam talking about? Avrech echad ratzah liton sh'Rambam medaber bezug haomed al saf gerushin. One Avrech, when he learned this Rambam, says, maybe he's talking about a type of a zug, pair, husband and wife, that are about to get divorced. So maybe the Rambam says, for this type of a pair, you have to make sure the candle is more important. The truth is, the Rambam didn't say that. The Rambam just gave you a klal, he gave you a rule. They brought this question to Rav. He says they brought the question to this Rav Moshe took this boy, this Avrech, to Rav Eliashiv. And what Rav Eliashiv said? He says no. He explained the Rambam. We're talking about a zug that could be even 50 years old after they got married, because the Rambam doesn't mention what zug. Not talking about a zug just got married many years. He's telling you a general rule. Even 50 years after they got married, and they probably never even fought. Rambam doesn't give you a classification what zug we're talking about. וגם כעת הם חיים בטוב, and now they're even good. They live very well. Because the Rambam didn't specify this type of a zug, that type of a zug. It looks like they're living well. רק קרה מקרה שהיו בדרך וכדומה ולא היה להם רק נר. But it happens to be the husband lost his job and they only had enough money to buy one candle or wine or one candle or Hanukkah candle. And the Rambam says, what's more important? The Rambam says, what's more important? Shalom bayit. She says,
and the candle represents that.
אם כן, קח את הנר. ועל אחריותי, מה שלא יהיה אני מבטיחה לך שלא אריב עמך בשום פנים ואופן. Guess what? If the wife says, don't worry, buy Hanukkah candle, don't worry. I promise I'm not going to fight with you. Guess what? Do you listen to the wife or are you going to buy the Hanukkah? You're going to buy the Shabbat candle. What do you do? Huh? Shabbat candles. That means even if the wife says, Habibi, it's okay, buy the Hanukkah candle. No, the Rambam says you buy Shabbat candle because it doesn't matter what you say.
That might cause Shalom bayit.
From the Hanukkah lights, but Shabbat light
It will,
I mean, you'll still have light. You're saying because you can't, because according to Allah. Guess what? Shabbat light also you can't. According to Allah, you can't learn by Shabbat light. Same thing.
Yeah, you can't have Hana.
But yes, but you can't learn by Shabbat light because you might flicker, right?
And Rabbi, I just said it's going to cause more Shalom bayit problems. You're going to say if she wants to
You're saying so you're saying let Hanukkah?
counterproductive.
So light Hanukkah?
If she's really strong,
He's arguing on it, saying no. If she's saying buy the Hanukkah candle, right? He's arguing. He's saying if she's saying, this is what he's asking. She's saying buy the Hanukkah candle. He's saying maybe listen to that. Why? Because it's going to be counterproductive. I'm going to go not listen to her and buy Shabbat candle. She goes, hey, Shalom bayit. No. You see from here, right? If the husband agrees to his wife, he's doing not according to halacha. Mishum shalom beto. Why? Because it's shalom bayit. Shalom bayit is very important. Don't be more smart than the Torah. Sometimes people want to be more smart than the Torah. When it comes to shalom, very important.
But isn't the halacha from the husband? Like whatever the husband does, the wife follows. So obviously, if the husband decides to get the candles, he's doing the right thing for their.
Correct. But what if she says? What if she says, "Look, the whole candle is for shalom bayit, but I promise you, I'm not going to fight with you. So buy the Hanukkah candle. I'd rather have Hanukkah candles once a year. I'd rather have Hanukkah candles. If the husband will listen to her, he's doing not proper, and he's going to explain why.
Halachically not.
He's not proper, right? But there's a question. He says, I don't understand. He says, his question. וכי עיקר הדין של מצוות הסדר רבנן מתבטל לגמרי איזה הבחנה דקה של שלום בית. I don't understand. Just because of a small shalom bayit thing, you're going to take away the mitzvah, which is rabbinical mitzvah that we do. Hanukkah, one of the biggest mitzvot, rabbinical takanot that we do. I don't understand. Where is the? She says it's okay. Let's say she says it's okay. Well, and if he buys what she does, what she wants, he did not the right thing. He didn't follow the right. Why? Why? What's the big deal? She's okay with it. But he says like this.
It's not
No,
asking if you're okay with it or not. It's asking to do the right or the wrong.
It's a happy wife, happy life.
Now let's get
I know,
another.
but if your wife says to do something halachically not right, Avera, you gonna be okay with it?
Also, ideology is also
What?
happy wife, happy life. It's very bad. Very bad mentality. Happy spouse, happy household.
I'm Ashkenaz, right?
The answer is you're right. You're right. It's taken out of context. Correct. Unfortunately, somebody made up to like 6'7", 6'7". So they made up this happy wife, happy life, right? Obviously, it's important. Shalom bayit is important.
happy.
Happy spouse, happy house. Double issue.
What? Happy spouse, happy?
house.
Correct.
Take care of each other.
That's what I told you. I said it's just like they made the 6'7", that thing everybody goes crazy for, right? Me too. Now let's continue. I was driving a girl and her mother home a few days yesterday, and she's like, Rabbi, I live on 167th Street. On 167th. It's so cute. It's funny, but he's asking a question. Well, let's look at the question. The Torah, it's as mitzvah Lo ta'aseh, you're not allowed to erase Hashem's name. It's Torah. It goes against the Torah. But then you have a rabbinical mitzvah to light the candle. Since when is rabbinical mitzvah overpowering the Torah? That's what's not understandable. Rabbinical mitzvah overpowers the Torah. Shalom bayit, light the candle. And even, how do we know this? Because if Hashem erased his name for Shalom bayit, since when? Like, how do we, what's the name? He says, where is the, we know that the Oraita is more important than the Rabbanan. Over here is the opposite. So let me ask you like this. If somebody asks you, by the way, this is a nice question to ask on, how do you call it? When you want to test somebody, when you try tricky question, like quiz or... No, it's not when I ask a question. This is a question. Riddle. Where do we find that rabbinical mitzvah overrides the Torah mitzvah? Ner Chanukah, Ner Shabbat. It's rabbinical mitzvah that's more important than the Torah mitzvah. How do we see? Because Hashem erased his name for this woman that committed something not right, speaking to another man after her husband already warned her. She hid herself, and now the husband wants to test her. Hashem says, erase the water, the name into the water, so she drinks to test, to make sure that the husband shouldn't suspect. Maybe she really didn't do anything, and the water is going to really determine if she's tahor or not. By the way, if she drinks and nothing happens, she has a baby. It's a bracha. Hashem blesses her with a baby. But since when do we see that the Torah says allows to erase the name, which is asur deoraita, for what? For what? For shalom bayit. Why is that? He said it doesn't make sense. That's what he's asking. הוא בטוח שהוא צודק, הוא מוטל דווקא מצורד ללמדה, כיצד נוהגים, והיא כמובן מתנהגת לעסק מסתבך. נשאל נא את אותו בעל יקר, האם העיקרון שלך חשוב יותר מהשם שם היה? Question, what's more important to this husband? Name of God or shalom bayit? To this husband, what's important? Name of God. אם זה פחות חשוב, אומר הרמב"ם, שכל דבר בדרגה של שם הוויה ומטה ממנו, אין מתיר פגיעה בשלום בית. כמובן, אין זה אומר שצריך לוותר. I understand שלום בית is important. But to go against the Torah, it doesn't make sense. No, באמת, let's try to understand this question. It's a very good question. I understand, we just established a fact. What's the fact? The fact is, you have a candle, and you have money only for wine, candle. Why? Shalom bait. What's the proof? Shalom bait is so important. The proof is what? Because Hashem made his name be allowed to be erased, which is not allowed. You're not allowed to erase Hashem's name. But he says you're allowed for Shalom bait. You see, Hashem's name is less important, so to speak, than Shalom bait. Why? Why is it like that? Good question. You want to answer me? I don't want to continue. I want to try to pause and think about it. Why? We established a certain step. Again, Hashem said
to who?
In the Torah, he allows a woman that is sota. The Torah says, what do you do with her? What's her procedure? Again, we're not talking about a woman that actually committed. We're talking about, she's a questionable woman. If a woman committed, then the water doesn't work on her. A woman that's questionable. The Torah, Hashem says, do me a favor, take a little, to a sofer, take a little klaf, right, a scroll, write my name, a pasuk, my name, Yud Kei Vav, then erase that into a cup of water, and let her drink it.
Okay.
Question, are you allowed to, Minat Torah, erase Hashem's name? No.
If Hashem said so, yes.
But why? You're right, but why? For what? For Shalom Bayit. To you, Hashem says you're not allowed to do it. But for this purpose, Hashem says you're allowed to do it. Why? Why Shalom Bayit so stronger? I understand it should be important, but not to the point where it's so important more than what? More than Michael, you hear the question? So me again. The Rambam says, based on obviously this is all based on Gemara. The Rambam says if you have $1, only $1, and it's enough to buy either Hanukkah candle or Shabbat candle. It's Shabbat Hanukkah. You can only buy one. What do you buy? Shabbat candle or Hanukkah candle? Shabbat. Another, if you have enough money for wine or whatever, bread or candle, what do you buy? Candle or bread? Candle. Why? Says the Rambam, because the entire we see the Torah. The Torah, how do we know this? Because the Torah went out of its way. Hashem said, I'll erase my name for this woman that's sotah, which is really not allowed to erase Hashem's name. But he said, erase my name for Shalom Bayit. And the Rambam writes, because the entire Torah is for what? Derachea darchei noam. The way of the Torah is noam, pleasant. V'chol netivotei shalom. And all the paths of the Torah is shalom, peace. The whole Torah represents peace. For that, I'm allowed to erase my name. Question, though, we have to understand is why. Here we are always saying, this is the oraita, asur to do. This is the rabbanan, not allowed, but when in case of what's you could be naked. We know that the oraita overrides the rabbanan. How come over here the oraita does not override? Yeah.
Isn't the whole point of a marriage to sanctify Hashem's name?
Oh, and therefore,
Therefore, that
you're saying the actual erasing is called sanctification. Oh, you're saying. The whole point of Shalom Bayit is to what? To sanctify Hashem's name. So Hashem says, erase my name for sanctifying my name. Chashuv, I like that. Look what he says. What are you saying? What do you want to say? Saying very good. Here? You hear what he's saying? So he answers like this. Omnam ka'et acharez berosh Rambam during Shiur. I think I would appreciate it. We all pay attention. Let's go. After the explanation of the Rambam, advarim niyu מרפסים עגרי. כיצד ייתכן ששמו של הקדוש ברוך הוא ימחק על המים כדי לעשות שלום? מדוע גדול כל כך שלום עד שאין שום דבר בעולם שמתאים לפגוע בו? Why shalom is so important? אלא מבאר הרמב"ם. He says, what does the Rambam mean to tell you, really? In his short sentences, what does he really mean to tell you? This is what the Rambam means to say. דע לך שגדול השלום משום שכל התורה ניתנה כדי לעשות שלום בעולם. The Rambam says you should just know Shalom is so important. Shalom is so important that the whole Torah was given to make shalom in the world. By the way, today, imagine there wouldn't be police. There wouldn't be police. There wouldn't be guards. There wouldn't be jail. What would happen in the world?
Nothing left. They would eat each
Let's say there wouldn't. Let's say
Battle of the fittest, that's it.
that's it. Right. So technically, in a way, if you think about it,
People want that. They fund the police.
correct. But in a way, what holds the world from it not happening?
Law and order.
No, but what created the law and order?
Hashem wrote that you have to have law and order.
The answer is because the whole Torah, the Torah in this world was created to place shalom in the world. There's law and order. Now, happens to be through that we learn, we need to have law, we need to have civilization, we have to learn, people cannot steal, they cannot rob, they cannot kill, they cannot... Right? Because the entire Torah is shalom. That's the essence. And the Maharal explains like this. Look what he says. Says the Maharal, Shegam HaShalom hu shmo shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Listen to what the Maharal says. You might not like it, or you would. The name of God, Michael, pay attention. The name of God is also Shalom. The name of God is Shalom. You know that, right? One of the names of God is Shalom. As a matter of fact, there's a whole discussion. Are you allowed to say Shalom in the bathroom? You're in the bathroom, and somebody calls you, pick up the phone, Shalom. That's a question, because it's a name of Shalom. Or there's a whole discussion, if a person's name is Shalom, right? And you're calling Shalom, and you're in the bathroom, and you're in the restroom, or you're taking a shower. Shalom! Can you say that? It's Hashem's name. So, says the Maharal, he says, the name of Hashem is Shalom. And therefore he says like this, by you erasing the name, you know what you're creating? You are creating the name. What are you creating? You're creating Shalom. You're creating the name of Hashem.
In other words, give birth to the name Shalom.
That's right. And what's the name of Shalom? Hashem's name. By you erasing one name of Hashem, you're creating another name of Hashem.
Like a new neshama.
So it's right, in a way, you're not really erasing, you're actually creating. That's a nice Maharal. That's a nice Maharal.
It's like a new neshama.
You hear this? You hear this Maharal? It's a very nice. By you erasing Hashem's name, you're creating Hashem's name. Why? Because one of the names of Hashem is Shalom. So by you erase, you create Hashem. He's not going to like it in the beginning. He's going to try to push her off. Still, I have a question. He says, I don't understand. Hashem Havaya. If you compare Yud Kei Vav Kei and Shalom, what's stronger? Yud Kei Vav Kei is stronger. So then the question is, I understand the name of Shalom, right? It's a description of Hashem, right? I understand that. But if you compare the names, Yud Kei Vav Kei is a stronger name than Shalom. So how are you erasing Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is a stronger name, to create Shalom, which is a weaker name? That's what he's asking. Yeah, I get the question? Rachamim. Okay. So you're saying erasing Rachamim for Shalom.
We're not erasing Hashem. We're erasing his name. So it's like Yud Kei Vav Kei is a direct hit towards Hashem, I guess.
So why is it not allowed from the Torah then? The Torah says you're not allowed to erase Hashem's name. You're not erasing Hashem, you're erasing his name. So why is it not allowed? According to you, it should be not a problem. Torah says one of the 630 mitzvot, do not erase, right? Do not erase Hashem's name. According to you, you're not erasing Hashem, you're erasing his name. It's erasing him. When you're erasing his name, it's a form of I'm erasing him. Right? So he says like this. He says, Hashem Shalom hu rak kinui. Shalom, he says, it's only a kinui. It's a description to Hashem. It's not the name. Yud Kei Vav Kei is more what's it? So how are you allowed to erase a stronger name for a kinui? Kol nafkamina hi rak lebet merchatz. See, it has to do with bet merchatz. When you're taking a shower, bathing, are you allowed to say Hashem's name? Shalom. Yud Kei Vav Kei, you cannot say.
You can't say that.
But Shalom, there's a whole discussion. Maybe Shalom you could because it's not really Hashem's name. It's only a description of Hashem.
Shalom Aleichem. You didn't even bring it.
Shalom is not Hashem's name. It's his description. It's like you say makom, right? Place. Some say it's Hashem's name. It doesn't mean his name. It's a place. Place is what?
The word Hashem itself.
Hashem is also not. Hashem means the name.
Yeah.
It's also not Hashem's name, right? Yud Kei Vav Kei is really the name. But he says, still he doesn't understand. According to Maharal, when you're erasing Yud Kei Vav Kei, you're creating Shalom, another name of Hashem. But you're not really creating the same level name. You're making a name which is less. So therefore, he says, well, Al Kach Omer Rambam, but this is what the Rambam is saying. Da lecha shalom za tachlit. You know what the answer is? The whole purpose of Shalom Bayit, the whole purpose of the world is Shalom. That's the purpose. The whole purpose of Shalom. Torah ikri derech. Torah is called derech, path. Torah is called path. What's another way to call the Torah? Path. Darkei Torah. You know this yeshiva, Darkei Torah. Derech Torah. Derech. Because why derech? Orachaim. Orachaim. Derechaim. 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 What's derech? Derech means Torah. Torah means derech. Why? Torah ikri derech. Derech nikret alde tachana sofit. You know, how can I call a path? I can only call a path if I have an end result. For example, if I'm just driving around, nowhere, can I say I'm going on the derech? Can I say that? If I just sat in the car, and I'm driving, I have no destination. Can I say derech?
Technically.
What's your destination?
Oh, so he's saying derech is only when you have an end goal. Okay? I'm going to Brooklyn. Happens to be, I need to take a derech, this derech, that derech. Derech only comes into play when there's a destination. So he says over here, he says, Torah ikri derech. Torah is called a path. What's a path? You know what's a path? Path is only when they're taking you somewhere. That's the word. The definition of path means when it's taking you somewhere. If it's not taking you anywhere, it's not a path. You know that, right?
Do you need a destination? I mean,
What is? I'm asking you right. I'm asking you right now. Stop. What's the word grammatically? What does the word path mean? No, I'm asking. Stop. What does path mean?
it's like a walkway.
To get to somewhere. If it doesn't get me anywhere, that's not a path. Right? I have stairs. That's the path. What? To go out of the shul. If you go straight, it's a path to. The word path means it gets me from destination 1 to destination 2. He says, derech is called derech because tachana shokimo derech Hebron shemagia leChevron. Derech means a path to get to somewhere. Now the question is, where is the Torah taking us? Torah is called derech. Derech is only when it's taking to a destination. Where is it taking us to? The answer is it's taking us to Shalom. The derech of Torah is because it says v'chol netivoteha shalom. All the paths of the Torah is shalom. That means it's interesting. If you learn the Torah,
it's not a final destination, which is the state of Shalom.
he's telling you that is the final destination. He's telling you that's v'chol netivoteha shalom. All its paths is shalom. That means take 630 mitzvot, right? Any mitzvah you learn, it's actually supposed to get you to one path, one destination. What is that? Shalom. That's what he's telling you. Any mitzvah you learn, take any mitzvot. It's really for what? For the purpose of what? Shalom. Technically, it's shalom. As a matter of fact, I want to tell you, today, let me tell you how deep this goes. You know, today, people go through tremendous amount of depression and a state of stress, especially today, state of stress. What is one thing that really, really helps a person? The answer is emunah. Emunah in what? Emunah in Hashem. Emunah in the Torah. That's one thing that helps a person really sustain himself. 100%, because if a person has no emunah in Torah and mitzvot, there's mamash nothing. Mamash nothing. Be'emet. And the more a person works on his emunah, the easier life becomes for him. Be'emet.
Even I tell these Arabs, Muslims, they pray all day. They don't really know where they're going with that. They're just like, there's no destination.
And unfortunately by us also. It's unfortunate by us also.
What?
Our davening, unfortunately, became so systematic today, so like robotic today, that unfortunately it doesn't, I'm talking to myself also, it does not get us, it could, but it does not get us to a destination of emunah. Technically, the Torah, if a person really believes in what the Torah is saying, every mitzvah in the Torah is saying, right? Ani Hashem, I'm Hashem. We're saying Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Why do we have to say Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad every day, twice? You know what it really means? It means that the whole world here, everything that's going on here is really what? God. And He's really one. And everything that's really happening is not real. The only real thing in this world is God. He is the real thing. Everything else is nothing. So therefore, what are you getting frustrated for? I want to tell you a story. This is on the record, but I don't stop telling you. You know, one of our biggest problems is what? One of the biggest problems. Let's say you have a doctor. You took a blood test, and the doctor tells you, he calls us. He says, by the way, I have to see you. When's the appointment? Come to me tomorrow. He called you in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. He says, come to me tomorrow. How do you think all those hours until tomorrow is going to be?
Crazy.
It's crazy hours. Or if you have a very important meeting, like Mamash, that determines something very important. How do you think, like, I had a meeting, right? A certain meeting that I was supposed to have today, right? My meeting was like, I was thinking about what was, the whole day, like, what is it going to, you don't know. Why? Because a person is, in his mind,
Assuming a lot.
he puts a lot of scenarios. Perhaps this is going to be, perhaps that's going to be, and perhaps that's going to be. And those scenarios is the ones that are actually causing him stress. Probably realistically, it's not going to happen. Maybe you're going to go to the doctor tomorrow and he's going to tell you, by the way, I have some just news. Maybe just watch a little bit of your little high level triglyceride. Maybe just watch, run a little bit here. But the whole time we're thinking, oh my gosh, what is he going to tell me? Probably I'm going to have this, and I probably have that, and I probably. It's crazy. It's crazy. But why is that? Where does that come from? Lack of emunah, bitachon, lack of Hashem, Torah in our life, right? The more God is in our life, the more peace we have within ourselves. So technically, peace is not only shalom bayit in the world, peace within yourself. The whole world has to do with what? Shalom. There's no shalom, there's milchama, there's war, there's no life. Life only is there because of shalom. Therefore, he says like this. Says the Rambam, Dalecha shalom zeh tachlit. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of the entire world? Is shalom. What's the purpose of the Torah? Shalom. Because why? Path is only when there's a destination. What is Torah? Torah is path. And it says, Deracheh darcheh noam. The path of the Torah is pleasant, and all its ways are shalom. It's supposed to get you that destination. Therefore, if I'm telling you that the most important thing, why Hashem created the world and everything that we need in this world is shalom, now it makes sense why Hashem says, erase my name. Are you with me? Now it makes sense why Hashem says, erase my name. There are two value systems that we have to, two sulamot. Sulamot means ladders. Number one, gavoa venamuch. there's a high, tall, and short. And then he says, Emtsa'i v'tachlit. Gavoa and Namuch means short and tall. Gavoa means tall, and Namuch means short. And then he says, Emtsa'i v'tachlit. Emtsa'i means a tool to get to destination. Yeshnam devarim shelefi sulam erchim. He's telling you sulam erchim means value system, right? Even though the translation, literal translation means sulam means ladder, but it means the value systems, right? He says there's two value systems, right? There are certain things, he says, when it comes to one value system, there are they're very high. אך כיוון שלפי סולם ערכים ב' הם נחשבים רק כאמצעים, ואילו הדבר הנמוך נחשב לתכלית, לכן האמצעי הגבוה מתבטל מפני התכלית הנמוך ממנו. This is already getting deeper. מי יותר גבוה, אדם או מלאך? Question, who is higher? אדם or מלאך? Again, take two concepts. Concept number one is tall and short. Concept number two is bottom line. Emtsai, a tool to get to bottom line. Okay? So he says, if you follow tall and short, yes, even though it looks like, wow, tall, wow, it looks like, wow, that's more important. It says, but since if I follow the second category, which is what? Tachlit, purpose, or emtsai. Emtsai means I need a tool to get to somewhere, right? It's emtsai, like a vehicle. Say it's a vehicle, right? So it comes out to it like this. If I follow the first sulam, the first ladder, what's the first ladder? Tall, short. So yeah, wow, tall looks big, right? But now he says, now what if I look at the emtsai, second sulam? What is that? Emtsai, what was the word I used? Emtsai means a vehicle. Vehicle, I need a vehicle to get to somewhere. Vehicle, or tachlit, purpose. He says, Ach kivan shelefi sulam bet hem nechshavim rak ke'emtsaim. Sometimes concept number one, which is tall and short, can be considered nothing in comparison to concept number two, they're only considered like tools when it comes to concept number two. Which means, he explains. That means if my destination, sometimes I need a short sulam to get to my destination, even though it's short. So he's going to give you an example. Adam or malach, who is taller? A person or a malach? Who's taller? A person or malach? Malach is higher. He's taller, higher, whatever. Why? Because malach doesn't sin, right? He doesn't sin. So in a way, if you're going according to this terminology, maybe let's use the word terminology. If you're going to the terminology of first terminology, which is tall and short, malach over here is tall, big, high, right? In comparison to a person, malach is wow, because he doesn't sin. The question is, what is the purpose? Who is the purpose? Who is the emtsai? Who is the purpose and who is the vehicle? A person is the purpose, or the malach is the purpose? Who is the vehicle? Who is the person? Malach is the vehicle. If the malach is the vehicle, he becomes batel when it comes to comparing him to Adam. Right? Adam is the namuch, he's the short. And malach, which is gavoa, he becomes a vehicle for Adam. Adam wa tachlit habriya kula. Why? Because who is the purpose of this world? Malach or Adam? No. So you see, even though somebody that's small can sometimes be stronger or higher when it comes to comparison to somebody that's big. What's big? Malach. But because the purpose in this world is Adam, even though he's small in comparison to malach, malach becomes a vehicle for him. Right? Kach gam besugyan. He says over here also. This is what he says. Vadai Shem Havayahu yoter gavoa v'kadosh. Of course, Hashem's name Yud Kei Vav Kei is a very, very high and holy Natanel. Very high name. We're doing deep stuff here. The name Havaya is a high name, right? In comparison to Shalom, high, holy. Ach kivan shu rak emtsai. But since that name becomes only a vehicle, that name becomes only a vehicle for what? To get you to Shalom. Shalom into the world. Therefore, what becomes more important, Hashem's name or Shalom?
Shalom.
Shalom becomes more important. Because again, remember the analogy. Let's understand the analogy. Malach is wow. But what's Tachlit? What's the purpose? Adam. Adam is less than Malach. But yet the Tachlit, if the Tachlit is Adam, he becomes more important. And Malach only becomes a vehicle for Adam. Same thing over here, he's saying. Yes, Yud Kei Vav Kei could be unbelievable high, but if the whole purpose of what? Is that if that's not the purpose, the ultimate purpose is Shalom. So yes, Yud Kei Vav Kei only becomes a vehicle. Don't get up, don't leave. It becomes a vehicle. That's why he says it's erased over water. Why? You know why? Because to fulfill its tachlit. What's the tachlit of Hashem's name? What's the whole purpose of Hashem's name? It's to bring peace. So even though peace is shorter or less than Hashem's name, but if the whole purpose of Hashem's name is for peace, therefore, what happens? If the whole purpose is for peace,
Then you can erase it.
I'm giving a class, I'm giving class, text me. If the whole purpose is peace, so then you're allowed to erase Hashem's name. When it comes to tachlit, if the whole purpose is shalom, there's no psharot, there's no accommodations, and no. When it comes to derech, when I'm going on the path, yes, sometimes I can go astray. But when I get to tachlit, when I need to get to the bottom line, so for example, when I come to the shul, I could drive and get lost a little bit on the way here. But bottom line, I have to get to the shul. So therefore he says, Achen Shalom. Therefore, what becomes greater really? Shalom really becomes greater. Al kol panim למעשה הדברים מבהילים להתבונן, מפליא לראות עד כמה יסוד זה סותר את מה שחשבנו עד היום. Says, this foundation is soter. It contradicts to what we thought until today. אם חשבנו שלום בית נראה פחות או יותר בסדר. If we thought שלום בית is, okay. It's good to have שלום בית. No. וזה מספיק, it's enough. כתוב כאן שצריך לבנות מחדש את סולם הערכים שלנו. You know what our brother? סולם הערכים means our value system is wrong. If we thought שלום בית is, it's important, but there's other things important. He says, no, our value system is wrong. סדר ערכים נכון של תורה הוא שאין שום דבר בעולם שווה עבורו לבטל אפילו קוצו של יוד. What's the value system of the Torah? Value system of the Torah is Shalom Bayit is so important, more important than Hashem's name. That means you give up everything because the whole purpose is house. The whole purpose is Torah. And what's Torah? Torah is derech. And what's the derech? To get to what? Destination. Destination where? Shalom. All the path, every mitzvah is really supposed to get to bottom line. Shalom. Therefore Hashem says, that's what we're going to do this to finish next time. Question: why is Shalom the most important thing? He's first now today he's establishing Shalom is the most important thing. But why is Shalom the most important thing? We're going to discuss this. But what I want to tell you, I like what he said over here. He said the value system. It is very important for us to understand that today, unfortunately, we live in a world where our value system is so screwed up, so messed up. Unfortunately, our value system is messed up, and it's very hard to a point where sometimes I say to myself, "What am I doing here?" I start having these things in my mind. Queens, what am I doing in Queens? Maybe just run away. I want to sometimes run away somewhere where I could seclude myself with, with spirituality, with people that are just like malachim. Sometimes you have this thing like you just want to seclude yourself with more spirituality, more. You just want because why am I saying this? Because we're so surrounded with a value system that's so messed up. That unfortunately our value system gets messed up as well.
Melting pot.
Things that are really not as important become very important. And the problem is it becomes important to us and then we give over that to our children. And can you imagine for dorot, for generations, that value system continues to, and unfortunately, when we see other value systems, it's like this, that's not important. We put importance to things that are so not important. He's telling you today that what's the most important thing? Shalom Bayit. That's the most important thing. Now, once you know that your life or death depends on that, the problem with us is what? We think, oh, okay, if my husband doesn't behave, he'll give me a get, right? Or he doesn't, okay, I don't have to get married. All right. Because our value system is screwed up. Look at today teenagers. Look at today young people. Look at today. I speak to a person, 31 years old. Why don't you want to get married? It gives me all types of baba mices. What are you telling me? Go out with this guy. Why don't you want to go out with him? Or with her. Why don't you go out? Oh, because what are you telling me? What are you telling me? That your value system is so messed up. You're 25 years old. You're 28 years old. You're 40 years old. Somebody called me yesterday. Please help me, my daughter. 37 years old. And my son is 34 years old. 30 said, please, I need... She said, please help me. So I'm thinking in my mind like this. She's 37 years old. Again, I'm not here to put people down. I'm trying to say, I blame, but I don't blame. Here you have a person, 37 years old. And I asked the mother, since when did she start dating? So she said, why you ask? I said, because if she started dating later, I think it makes sense why she didn't find her shidduch. If she started dating 26, 27, okay, so she's only in the parsha for 10 years, 8 years. But she says, no, she started 18. So, I don't even remember. She says, 18. So it means from 18 years old to 37, she didn't find a guy. I mean, she probably saw every single guy. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what is going on? Why not? Because this like this, and because of this like this, and that like this. Our value system is so messed up. That's why we're learning this, and I think it's going to help us to be able to establish what is most important for us. Shalom, most important thing. Now, if we know that our life is dependent on Shalom, guess what? And again, I'm speaking to myself as well. I sound like we're going to work very hard on Shalom Bayit. We're going to work on ourselves very hard. Because that's the world. And the Rambam says, you raise Hashem's name for Shalom, that means that's what Shalom is. I have to work on myself very hard.
If you don't have Shalom Bayit, you have nothing, realistically speaking.
That's what he's saying. But again, our value system is not like that. Our value system says, shut your mouth. A husband could tell his wife, shut mouth. A wife could tell her husband, shut mouth. A wife could embarrass her husband and say, why are you eating so much? What are you doing? The value system is so messed up. And unfortunately, we grow generation. And I see children today of families of broken homes. I see children today of families where the parents... I have a student once. I went like this once to him. Just like a pat. Wanted to pat him. He goes like this. Just pat him. He goes like, what does that say? The father probably, or the mother, or somebody beats him over there in the house. To the point where he feels like... So when I go... He said, where does that come from? Because the father grew up in a house, or probably that's what he saw. And that father happens to... And that's what... And domino effect. And what happens? It affects the entire generation. 2 generations, 3 generations, because of what? Because of value system that's screwed up. It's scary, sad. So, Baruch Hashem, I want to say, kol hakavod to you guys that come every week to want to learn a little bit, because I think that's the purpose. The purpose is to learn so we can be better. And if we can be better and our homes could become better, guess what? Everything will be better. By the way, I see like this. I see an unbelievable phenomenon. Listen to this. If you want your children to be friendly with each other, respect each other, I see a phenomenon. Every home where I see there's peace between father and mother, all the brothers, sisters are like this. Every home where I see machlok between father and mother, there's no peace between the brothers and sisters. Unbelievable phenomenon. I've seen it. Just do your studies. Stop, just observe. I didn't do any words, but observation. Every home where there's peace between father and mother, the brothers, sisters, siblings are like they're going to kill anybody for each other. Whenever there's a house where there's a machloket, and that's why it's important. Remember, you're building your families, and I'm telling you, it's important. Try to be as peaceful as you can, because you will see when your kids are going to grow up, and you're going to see that your kids are not getting along. It's not because they're not getting along. Somewhere in the house, you're not getting along with your wife. I see it. It's crazy. But when you have Shalom Bayit like this with your wife, the kids are... So thank you so much for coming. Chazak u'baruch.